the conqueror who couldn't conquer himself. In the violent theater of the ancient world, where empires rose on blood and collapsed under ego, one name echoes louder than all others: Alexander the Great. He moved like a force of nature. Cities fell. Kingdoms dissolved. Armies shattered at the mere rumor of his arrival. And yet, beneath the legend was a quieter, more dangerous truth. He mastered the world, but never mastered himself. The birth of a myth. Born in 356 BC in Macedon, Alexander was not raised, he was constructed. His father, Philip II of Macedon, built the most powerful military machine Greece had ever seen. His teacher, Aristotle, filled his mind with philosophy, logic, and the stories of gods and heroes. But something subtle went wrong. Aristotle taught him how to think. Alexander decided who he was. He didn't just admire Achilles. He believed he was destined to become him. Mistake number 1, the collapse of identity. He confused inspiration with identity. And once a man stops seeing himself as human, every limit begins to feel like an insult. The logic of blood. At just 20 years old, after his father's assassination, Alexander took the throne. His first decisions were not hesitant, not diplomatic, not merciful. They were surgical. Rivals were eliminated. Threats were erased. Even his own bloodline was not spared. It worked, for a moment. Mistake number 2, violence as a default setting. Alexander didn't just use power, he standardized it. Every problem became a target. Every uncertainty demanded destruction. When violence becomes your first instinct, you slowly lose the ability to imagine any alternative. The illusion of invincibility. Against the vast Persian Empire ruled by Darius III, Alexander did the impossible. At the Battle of Issus and the Battle of Gaugamela, he dismantled armies far larger than his own through speed, precision, and psychological dominance. He didn't command from the rear, he led from the front. And that's where the fracture began. At the Granicus, he nearly died. At Gaza, he was severely wounded. At the Hydaspes, his army was pushed to exhaustion. Each moment was a warning. He interpreted it as proof. Mistake number 3, confusing survival with superiority. He survived danger so often he stopped believing it could touch him. But survival is not invincibility, it's just delayed consequence. An empire without a spine. As his empire stretched from Greece to the edges of India, it looked unstoppable. But underneath, it was hollow. Over 20 cities were renamed Alexandria, but naming something is not the same as building it. Mistake number 4, conquest without architecture. Alexander knew how to take power, but he never learned how to hold it. There was no stable system, no administrative backbone, and no plan for what happens after victory. He built an empire like a storm, fast, overwhelming, and impossible to sustain. The corruption of success. Then came the transformation. He adopted Persian customs, demanded divine recognition, and expected loyalty to become worship. When Clitus, the man who once saved Alexander's life, spoke against him, Alexander killed him, not in battle, but in anger. The next morning, he wept. Mistake number 5, letting power rewrite character. Success didn't just elevate him, it isolated him. The more he conquered, the less anyone could reach him. A man who cannot be challenged becomes dangerous to everyone, including himself. The breaking point and final collapse. By the time Alexander reached India, his army refused to go further, not out of fear, but exhaustion. For the first time, Alexander was stopped, not by a king, but by his own men. He turned back, but without conquest, he had no identity. He kept fighting small, unnecessary battles, just to maintain the illusion of forward motion. In 323 BC, in Babylon, at 32 years old, he died. The last mistake. He left no successor. When asked who should inherit his empire, he said, the strongest. He guaranteed its destruction. The empire fractured and dissolved within a generation. The core realization: Alexander's life reveals a truth most people spend their lives avoiding. Expansion without control is self-destruction. Ambition, unchecked, becomes addiction. Power, without structure, becomes chaos. Victory, without purpose, becomes emptiness. He didn't fail because he was weak. He failed because he never learned where to stop. He conquered the world. He just never learned how to live in it.